Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Hey Sister. Hey Sister, how you doing?
Hey, sister, happy Black History Month. I am doing well. How are you? How are you?
I am doing fantastic tonight,
Your
folks.
hair is looking fabulous.
Well, thank you. I think it's just the vitamins and the collagens and all the things that I'm doing. I'm trying to keep it right, keep it tight. What's up to one of our favorite sisters who's tuning in right now? Miss Jody. Hey,
Hey, Miss
Jody.
Jody.
How
We
you
missed
doing this
you.
evening? So, in typical Hey Sister fashion, we're going to ask you guys to do us a couple favors here. Make sure that you like, follow, share, and subscribe. Make sure you join the conversation in the comments, and make sure you subscribe to our website. One thing that we are learning more and more is about ownership. And we want to have a personal relationship with you and not be solely reliant on any of these platforms. How about that? So, with
Yes.
that being said, let's see. Yes, happy Black History Month and the hair. Okay, girl, I'm gonna let it do a little something like that. Okay. All right, all right. So, tonight we're just gonna dive right in and get this thing started because, woo,
Well, we finally got out of January.
girl. Let me tell you, January was a month, it was a year, it was a decade all in one. You hear me? I mean, from the 1st to the 31st, it did not take its foot off of our neck. The foot was on the accelerator, and every day it was something more and more mind-boggling, mind-blowing, my head spinning.
Head
I
scratching, head spinning,
scratching,
all the
spinning,
things.
like remixing, like am I in the matrix? Like what's happening? We were doing like Neo, we were just it was a lot. So first, then that's what I want to say is happy Black History Month. And let's give ourselves a round of applause because we made it through January. Come on, people.
Yes.
You better reach back there and pat yourself on the back because you made it without busting somebody upside the forehead. Ooh, girl, you better hug yourself because you made it without cussing somebody out.
I'm not going to say that happened, but
She said, what chapter of Revelations are we living in for the month of February? Girl, I do not know. But I will tell you, we had a good lesson this morning on John chapter 9. So go read John chapter 9. Or open your Bible app and let it read to you the whole chapter, honey. We had a good lesson this morning on John chapter 9. I don't know. But anyway, we have a lot to talk about tonight. So first things first, the Grammys are happening this evening. We know that they're happening in Los Angeles where people are still recovering. And so I want us to take a moment and be reflective on that people are still suffering, they're recovering, they are demonstrating their resilience and their strength as they kind of pick up the pieces of their lives and of their material possessions. There are some, I'm sure, who are also having health issues just related to breathing in all that smoke and burning metal, burning wood, all of the things, the air quality. There's so much that still needs to happen there. And so let's just lift those people up as they continue to recover. And it doesn't matter what station you are in life, right? Because there are people, like you said, wealthy people, not so wealthy people, it doesn't matter. If you've lost all of your material possessions, it is a hard starting point to restart. So that's what I wanted to say as the Grammys are on. And I want to before we go into the next thing I want to say about the Grammys, what do you have to say for the people who are in Los Angeles who are picking up the pieces of their lives?
I mean, all I can say is just keep going. We have tragedies across this nation, across this world on a regular basis. And if you're still here, then that means you're here for a reason and a purpose. And, you talked about our lesson this morning. One of the things that we know as we talk about Black History Month is for all of us who are here, that means our DNA made it across the Middle Passage. And that means that we are a resilient people. And so anybody and everybody who was impacted, you are a resilient people. You're still here. That means you have an opportunity to restart. Now, I hope in the coming weeks we can get some folks from the area on to have a conversation, a more in-depth conversation about what they need from the rest of us, because I do believe that we have a responsibility to help our brothers and sisters when they're hurting. And so
Yes,
that's what I
absolutely.
keep going, because you're still here.
Yes, absolutely. And as you mentioned, there are other tragedies that have taken place in recent days in which people are not here. We returned from having a really joyous time in Washington, D.C., and on a Monday, and by the end of the week, we're hearing of a tragic
By that Wednesday.
yeah, like 2 days later, and we, as you said, know people who it was even within hours, an hour before, just landing right before this tragedy happened. So we know that there's a thin line between life and death, and we really, anytime that we're on the side of the living, just should embrace fully embrace that moment. And so, like I said, the Grammys are happening right now. Trevor Noah is the host. I'm just taking a little sneak peek over there. The one thing that I want to shout out is my man, my love, my favorite artist of all time. I see one of his people who looked up to him in the audience right there, Mr. Bruno Mars, but Prince forever. So Prince is going to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award posthumously. And I just had to shout it out because that's my man, okay? And he been my man since I was 5 years old. Like, that's my dude right there. And anybody have any disparaging remarks or comments about Prince Roger Nelson's, don't say him over here. Thank you very much. Anything you want to say about Prince? What's your favorite Prince song, sister?
Adore.
Ooh. Okay, I'm not gonna sing it, but yes. What's your favorite Prince song? If you are watching right now, or if you're watching on a replay, make sure you drop in the comments. What's your favorite Prince song? One of my favorites is Strolling, which is the one a lot of people don't know. We could have fun just strolling, rocking and rolling. Oh yeah. It's just, there's so many hit B-sides, obscure songs. There's just so many. And there are other music that he released in those later years. That if you go do a little search, he has a song about America that I think you all should listen to. And then, he has another one, that Breakfast Can Wait song, which the cover art is so just hilarious because it's Dave Chappelle, like, because, he talked about how after he beat him in basketball, he cooked him breakfast. Is Dave Chappelle dressed up as Prince. So anyway, he will forever be Prince. Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, I think Prince is the type of artist that even when you you loved him since you were 5, but some of us, it might have taken us a little bit longer to warm up, if you will.
When I was 5, he was saying, I ain't got no money. I ain't got no money. I ain't like them other guys you hang around. All right, let's see. We got When Doves Cry. Yes, we got I Would Die for You. Listen, that whole Purple Rain soundtrack from beginning to end. Even when you played it in reverse, that was a message, baby. Y'all better go back and listen to some of them songs. There's a message in there.
Well, they may not have record players to play it in reverse, but I do distinctly remember us doing that. And And I feel like we might have scratched something, but
Baby, listen,
I do remember it.
controversy. When Ronnie talked to y'all don't know about that Ronnie talked to Russia. Y'all don't know about that Ronnie talked to Russia. He was talking to Ronald Reagan, honey, talking to Russia. Y'all better go. Don't sleep on my man. That's all I'm gonna tell you. There's a lot of messages in that music. Okay. And don't tell me about all 7 and we'll watch them fall, honey, because judgment is coming. But okay. Ooh, you better get
when you just think of 1999, I mean, the idea was that in our 1999, we were really afraid that life would end. And it didn't,
dreaming when he
obviously.
wrote it. So
Right.
forgive me if it goes astray.
That's right.
But when I woke up this morning, this morning was Judgment
Day. Yeah, but it didn't go astray that much there, Prince. And
well, right now the sky is all purple, and there are people running everywhere trying to run from their destruction. And he said, I didn't even care. You know why he didn't care? Because he knew he was saved. How about that? Oh, so tonight, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna party like it's what? 1999. Don't y'all sleep on my man. That's all I'm gonna tell y'all. Don't sleep on him. Y'all better go listen to the message of the music. All right, I guess we'll get serious now.
Well, no, I just want to we're going to get serious, but before we get too serious, this is serious. I just wanted to reiterate the point that you made about that very thin line. Mm-hmm. We're all treading that line every single day, mm-hmm. and every day that we are, because none of us know what the other side is like. So, every day we're on this side, we have something to be thankful for and thoughtful about. And so, in my personal quest is just to be a better person as we are treading along that very thin line. And so some things we're going to have to learn to let go of. Some people we're going to have to learn to let go of. Some situations we're going to have to learn to let go of. And that brings me. Okay, well, no, we don't have this on the list, but we got to talk about our girl Mel Robbins too at some point here.
Okay,
we just got to talk about Mel. Mel ain't black.
Ain't but black, let them let me, girl. That's what my girl said.
Let them and let me.
Well, speaking of some things we're gonna have to let go.
A tout target. You should have put it as target.
Because that's what Julius Caesar said as he was being stabbed, right? Et tu, Brute. You too, Brutus. You stabbing me in the back too, baby.
Well, they said they do it is a target, so I guess
they said okay, and they said we ain't coming for your back, we coming for your front. How about that? So you go ahead and read part of the statement. So if you don't know, if you haven't heard, you've probably been living under a rock. If you don't know, haven't heard, Target joined a long list of companies reversing their diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. They're trying to fix it up, do other word salad, as they say. And there are a lot of companies that are doing that. They're doing the word salad. They're whatever we call, whatever name we use, they like to steal, then bastardize it, and then you weaponize it against us. So whether that was woke, whether that was diversity, whether it's affirmative action, and honey, belonging is going to be the next thing. Equity, inclusion. Like how could you not want equity and inclusion? Like how could you not want something like that? But here's their message on Target's belonging.
Yeah, so it says we remain focused on driving our business by creating a sense of belonging for our team, guests, and communities through a commitment to inclusion. Belonging for all is an essential part of our team and culture, helping fuel consumer relevance and business results. So I'm going to let that land, and then I'm going to scroll down here. And so some of their current actions include concluding our 3-year diversity, equity, and inclusion goals, concluding our racial equity action and change initiatives in 2025 as planned, ensuring our employee resource groups are communities fully focused on development and mentorships. These communities will continue to be open to all, so not sure why we had to change that. Further evaluating our corporate partnerships to ensure they are directly connected to our roadmap for growth. Stopping all external diversity focused surveys, including HRC's Corporate Equality Index. Okay, HRC, for those who don't know, is the Human Rights Campaign. And involving our supplier diversity team to supplier engagement to better reflect our inclusive global procurement process across a broad range of suppliers, including increasing our focus on small businesses. Obviously, that does not speak to any level of percentages of Black owned, women owned, veteran owned, indigenous owned,
Differently
LGBTQ.
abled owned, veteran owned.
Yeah, it
But
tells
you
us
said,
nothing about actual
but
percentages.
you said the key word up there. What are they doing? They're getting rid of their what? Goals.
Yeah,
Well, we
conclude
all
our
know,
3-year diversity, equity, and inclusion goals.
well, we
Yes.
all know if you don't have a goal, you just doing nothing.
Yeah. So not only if you don't have a goal, you're doing nothing. It's also the idea that if you are talking about belonging, now you can speak to this better than I can, but I always understood the B to come sort of at the end: diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. Belonging comes after you've diversified, you've made things equitable, you've included everybody. Like they've gone to such lengths to say, okay, so if we go to the dance, diversity is all the different people that are present at the dance.
Mm-hmm.
Equity is everybody hearing the music that they love. Inclusion is being able to get on the dance floor and dance to the songs that you love and partake in it. And then belonging is feeling like, they have all this
Description.
touchy, all of these descriptions of how you differentiate diversity, equity, inclusion, and then the belonging. So I'm just interested on how Target plans to achieve belonging without having diversity, equity, and inclusion goals. I'm just interested how they intend to make people feel like they belong if your ERGs, which were already
Open
apparently
to
open to
everyone.
everybody, I don't understand why you wouldn't have felt like, why you feel like you had to change them. So some people will say, oh, it's just semantics. And to a degree, I would agree with that. To a degree, it is semantics. But the goal is we should not have to go to work places and spaces. And when the team is comprised of all white males, no one says anything. But if the team were comprised of all Black males or all Black women, it becomes a question of, well, why does that team look like that?
Yeah.
It should not be, so,
Or their qualifications are called
or
into
then their
question.
qualifications are called into question. Or if, and there was an actual, and I don't remember the actual metric, but there's a metric that in certain companies where how long does it take a Black female to ascend to a certain level? Right. So let's just say a director position. How many years on average does it take a Black female to ascend to that level? And then how many years on average does it take a Black male, a white male, maybe an Indian male, if you're like in a certain field or whatever, or a Hispanic woman? Like there are different metrics, just like we have the pay metrics. Like how many days does it take before a Black woman has made the same amount, or her dollar, she's reached a dollar as compared to her white male counterpart? Like these days are designated because we have not achieved equality. So I
Well,
just don't know how you jump to
right.
belonging.
Well, so equality and equity are
I
two
mean, I'm sorry,
different terms.
equity,
Yes,
equity. I'm
are
sorry,
two different
equity.
terms. So yes. So again, I don't I again I don't know how do you achieve belonging without diversity, equity, inclusion, because those are kind of like the entry fee, right? Those are
Mhm.
the entry fee because to belong means that I feel a part of. I don't feel separate from. I feel a part of. I feel valued. I feel um a kinship and a relationship. And if nobody has in any glimpse of my lived experience, not interested in learning a glimpse about my lived experience, my historical perspective, if no one has a interest in understanding what accommodations I might need based on my abilities or my learning style, I cannot get to belonging. You just can't. Right. You just can't. And so call it whatever you will, phrase the words however you will. It doesn't matter. Whatever word we adopt is going to be misused, abused, and
scrutinized.
It's going to be scrutinized. It's going to be remixed and then weaponized.
And
so
then weaponized.
Woke was weaponized. Affirmative
action was weaponized.
Even at this point, civil rights are being weaponized. So if there is no desire, to even recognize or appreciate all of our differences, or when I talk about the crayons in the box, right? So when we were young, you remember those 64 crayons? That box?
Yeah, you wanted the box of 64 with the sharpener on the
you
back.
You wanted that box of 64 with the sharpener in the backs, but the truth is you only used about 8.
Right, which is probably why your parents bought you the 8 one. Yes.
Those are the
but
primary.
You just wanted, and listen, for us, I used to draw a lot more when I was younger and things like that. It was great when I went to school and I had classmates who had the 64. It was cool because, right, I have a brown in the primary colors, but there were a variety of others.
Maybe they had brown. Burnt sienna. They had burnt
sienna in that one.
Like, okay, did you know about lavender? It's not just purple, but you got lavender too, or you got, lilac. Okay, you see what I'm saying? There's shades, there's ranges, and the goals. To me, the goals have always been, let's use as many of these crayons as possible, because all of them, if we use more of them, we'll create more beautiful images than if we just use the basics.
Right.
And we're missing out. So, and 2, Target, and who else is on the list? We already knew Walmart was on the list. We already know that Costco is standing 10 toes down, so they ain't on the list. Who else on the list, sister?
I mean, of course, Amazon is on the list. And I've heard different things about where Amazon stands, right?
Well, Amazon, because if you read Target statements, basically, like you said, you saying something without saying anything.
Well, let's look up Amazon's DEI
look up Amazon statement. Yeah. Well, why are you looking up that? I think the big question is boycott or not boycott. That is the question. And so I'll speak for me and me alone. So I'm wearing this noir is what I'm wearing. I bought this at Target probably 2-3 years ago when they first started these initiatives and had their Black History Month collection. And the company is called Jolie Noir. And, so there's a little double entendre with the noir name, as well as noir is what I'm wearing every day because I can't take it off me anyway. Y'all can peep that later. But you can support them directly. But here's the thing. I went in there and I bought this, And this is why I know I can't go into Target. Because when I went in there to look at their Black History collection, I bought a whole bunch of other stuff. So that's why I say, no, I'm boycotting, because I know that some others have been on these internet streets and have said, well, just shop these certain, or here the brands that are there, just go pick out these brands. That's not going to work. You know why? Boycott is inconvenient. The Montgomery bus boycott was successful because there was people inconvenienced themselves for a year to send a message and have an economic impact. Because like I know you're going to go into Target and then you'll be like, oh, well, let me just grab this water on my way out. Or, oh, let me just get this right here. To ask people to have a whole nother level of discipline in addition to picking out certain things, that's not going to work. That's not effective. So for me, I'm not going at all. So that's how I feel about it. Whether it's Target, hey, Sam's Club is right across the street. I could walk to Sam's Club if I wanted to purchase things for my home. I love the Scan and Go app. You hear me? You know your sister love a Scan and Go. Tell them, sister, I love a
You
Scan
do.
and Go.
Yes, you do.
I will beep, 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 and be on up out of that Sam's Club. I will not go. I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. Why? I can make other choices. I can be inconvenienced because we work too hard for the dollars that we do have for someone to not care about, and then reinvesting in the communities in which I identify, as well as the communities who are often left out of the equation when they're talking about supporting diverse suppliers and small businesses.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, earlier today I was rewatching Amend, and the portion about Ida B. Wells Barnett came on. And it just made me say to myself, Ida B. Wells was putting herself in a lot of danger as a Black woman to go out and to report on what was happening, the lynchings that were taking place. That was a far bigger risk and a much larger commitment, and very uncomfortable. I should be able to not go to Target, right? And like you love the Scan and Go function of Sam's Club, I love Target, right? But at some point we have to ask ourselves if these companies in which we're invested in, are they invested in us? And yes, Target has put a lot of Black business owners on their shelves, their products on their shelves. They've featured a lot of Black artists and things on their clothing lines, and HBCU students, all of those things.
Their LGBTQ, like their
yes,
Pride Month, and y'all
had a
not
lot
gonna do
of
Pride
Pride.
Month?
They're not going to do Pride, and that came after. And these same folks who are telling them not to do DEI and they're succumbing to it, they shuddered as well when it came to Pride, right? They did the same thing. And so at some point the question becomes, so what does it take for us to say enough is enough? What does it take? Like, I love Target. I go to Target often because Target is, like you said, you could probably walk to Sam's Club. I could walk to Target if I really wanted to make that effort. But what does it take for you to finally say enough is enough? I am personally offended because at the end of the day, like, I live in an area that doesn't have a large Black population, right? And so I'll just use Tabitha Brown as an example. When her products first launched in Target, people were talking about how they were sold out within a few hours or within a day or so. They were showing these massive displays. My Target never had massive displays. Okay. I had to actually go around and look, and then was like, that's it. That's all you got. you know, um, I live in a state where we have a larger population of Hispanic and indigenous people. And because we're still wearing hosiery in the sorority, I would think that I should be able to go get different shades of hosiery from Target. And things like that aren't even made available to us. So what does it take? When is enough enough? When do we vote with our eyeballs and with our dollars and with our actual voting power? When do we say, you know what? And this is what I do want to pull up as well, really quickly. I'm going to present this real quickly. So I'm going to share this, but I looked at this. Nielsen has this thing, insights, connecting. It's the link is connecting Black America, but it's engaging Black audiences. And it says Black America continues to grow, and the outsized impact of their cultural and economic influence cannot be ignored or taken for granted. Learn how brands can connect with this community to impact, grow, and win with inclusion. Okay, so here's the number: 52%. With more than half of Black Americans under 35, this community has outsized influence on digital trends. 2.1 trillion. Black Americans' buying power has grown 2.4 times since 2000 to $2.1 trillion. 67%, more than 2/3 will seek out alternatives if a brand doesn't align with the causes they care about. So, at what point do we say, hey,
the numbers on the date is on our side? We got the power. When we gonna learn? Like my boy said. What did they say? We got the power.
Yeah. Right. So when do we say, you know what? I'm sorry, Target. And to those, again, we're not saying don't shop Black-owned businesses. And before tonight is over, we're going to give y'all a plethora of Black-owned businesses that we want you all to consider supporting. We're not going to say don't support Black-owned businesses. But the truth is, and Demetria said it eloquently, before all of this, there was always the jokes, man, you go into Target, you plan on getting one thing and you get 7 things. Or, girl, how did I end up spending like, I can never go into Target without spending $100. Like, people would make these jokes before all of this. So I just don't see you walking into Target and just buying a hair care product and walking out. Because that's not why you go to Target. You go to Target for the convenience of buying a plethora of things. You get your Starbucks coffee. You might buy a few groceries. You get your hair care products. If it has a CVS in there, you might have to run to the pharmacy. That's the whole point. So no, I'm not. I will just change and shift and purchase the hair care products that I need from those actual companies. And I don't see why that part is not understood. We should be demanding. We got the numbers. So why are we not demanding that? No, you just like Target, because they was holding on for a little while, but just like they changed their policy that quick, they could change it back.
How about that? Please drop that Nielsen article in there.
Yes,
and then we're gonna shout out to Doechii, who just won Best Rap Album at the Grammys. So shout out to her. Go ahead, Doechii. Go ahead, girl. You having your moment. Do that thing. These insights are important. And the question is, if it doesn't matter to a company or an organization or any institution that you support, then they should not matter to you. Okay.
Yes.
How about that? It's really
and if they can change their policy that quickly, then they can change it back. And anybody who thinks because they have a contract that they're safe, you're not. Your contract comes to an end, and then they could still, even if you perform well, they can still say, well, no, thank you. We don't need you anymore because we no longer have a commitment to do it. And I don't know how else to say this. Diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, just like affirmative action, just like the Civil Rights Act, just like the multiple Civil Rights Acts, the multiple Voting Rights Acts, um, pieces of the Voting Rights Act that was removed that because suddenly the South was no longer racist and all of this stuff. These things were put into place because people were not doing the right things.
Yes.
Like if we could just rely on people to do the right things, maybe we wouldn't have needed all these things, but we needed them because people weren't doing the right things
And
perpetually.
after they own devices, they still ain't gonna do the right
And
thing.
gonna do the right things. Exactly. Okay.
So, well, I am dropping in here and I'm trying to get it ready so we can run through all. Because listen, I actually patronize a good number of Black-owned businesses.
Yes,
I
you do. You do a
patronize
really
them
good job.
directly through their websites. We're gonna drop a whole list here, and I know that there are sites out there for you to take a look at, and
And
what
y'all please add to the list. Add to the list.
and that's what we're gonna want you to do, to add to the list. But I want to say support these businesses. It's a whole bunch of them. It's a whole family.
It
Okay.
kind of did something weird on
It did something weird on on what's that, on YouTube, but we could
YouTube.
go
Yeah.
in there and fix that after the fact. So we're gonna run it through. So Nova Beauty Essentials. So there was a comment up earlier about how my hair is looking, and so Nova Beauty Essentials. I met Dion and her sister Evangeline at Xavier's homecoming, and I bought her whole kit. Absolutely love the thing I love the most, as I said before about her shampoo, is that I can start detangling my hair with the shampoo, not just have to wait to the conditioning step. And
me too.
Yes, the slip in the feel is so great. You've used more of the edge control. I love the oil. Gives me a little glistening and a sheen and a shine. So Nova Beauty Essentials, they have a a believer in me, and I think a believer in you too.
Absolutely.
All right. O'Henny Beauty. So O'Henny, I started using them with their soaps. I think we had O'Henny on Hey Sister before and talked about how they started that line. They have expanded and have even more skincare products. So you're talking about someone who is a pharmacist by training and whose wife is a physician, and they have these skincare products in line, and they really started because their child had eczema and needed to find a solution. So they still make small batch handcrafted soaps. And if you need of course, for the eczema or whatever is the pure, you don't want anything that might have scents or what have you. But if you want a good African black soap, baby, O'Henny Beauty is the one for you. Okay, so that's that.
Black Coffee Company. We've
That's my
had Black
boy.
Coffee Company on too.
We've had the Black Coffee Company on as well. So if you, and I'm so proud of their growth and their expansion. So they have their flagship store in the Atlanta area. They just opened their second location at the campus of Morehouse. Okay. So they are growing and doing their thing. But if you want to elevate your coffee experience, you can buy the beans, you can buy the grounds. They have the K cups. And the thing I love about their coffees is they're not as acidic as a lot of the coffees that we traditionally buy. Okay. So they're on there. The Wellness Apothecary. So think of this as like an online pharmacy. So there's a range of products. So again, another pharmacist has these products that are natural, they're vegan, they don't have all these fillers. And you and I have been using our Yuka app. So if y'all don't know about the Yuka app with the carrot, that is it's telling you about the chemicals in these products that we're using. And honey, let me tell y'all, just about everything in the black hair aisle or the skincare aisle is poor. because of the chemicals that are in it. And so just think about the things that we've been washing our hair with, that we've been putting on our skin, that we've been putting on our lips, the foundations and all of the stuff that are bad and poor, and the scores, and they all have endocrine disruptors. It's like insane. So finding more natural products is the way to go. So I'm gonna let you talk about the next few, sister.
Okay, sure thing. So on Etsy, I love Etsy. Etsy is where you go when you want a custom gift or personalized gift. You can go to Etsy.com, and right on their front page, they have a feature for Black History Month of Black owned shops. Click there. We have the link here, and support those shops. I think it's wonderful that they are still committed to the idea of promoting these Black owned shops. Shop London's Boutique. London's Boutique is a boutique in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Prissy Duck, both of them cater to the tall girls like me. And the reason I put them here is because they are both Black owned boutiques. And again, I think people take for granted that when you're a certain height, because a lot of stores over the years have transitioned to offering tall options. But a lot of us who are tall, we're tall because we have long limbs, not necessarily a long torso. And so sometimes that gets very tricky, even at your regular retail or clothing stores, right? And plus, when you go to the mall or to the stores directly, there rarely is a tall option on the racks. You have to always go to their website. So why not just support these Black owned businesses that have a specialty for the tall girls? Mm-hmm. And then you can talk about Zydeco Naturals and your girl, Dr. Flavor. That's your peeps, your actual peeps.
My peeps. Yeah, absolutely. So Zydeco Naturals. So when we went to Costa Rica, that's what we used for to keep the bugs off of us, right? You know, we had that little travel sites thing, and her I'll Be Back shampoo and the whole I'll Be Back line, the shampoo, the oil, the smell is so delicious and so yummy. But she also, pharmacist by training, creates all these natural skincare products, all of these things that are healthy for us. She also has collagen on her site. She also has the marshmallow root and all the things that we need to stay healthy. She has it. And as a pharmacist by training, she knows what we need, right? And so my girl, Dr. Flavor Spices, honey, you can go to drflavorspices.com and you can get you a nice little bundle and flavor up all your food, flavor layering, and you don't have all of the preservatives that give things a long shelf life. No, you're going to have to use these, okay? Right. You're going to order them and you're going to have to use them. Her lemon pepper.
Because for some reason, I don't know why we don't think that spices expire. But there is an expiration date. So yeah, they do expire.
So you need to use these. And if you like lemon pepper wings, order her lemon pepper. They're going to make your lemon pepper. You know the wings I did in the air fryer, sister, them lemon pepper was kicking, right? Okay.
They were.
I'm just letting y'all know. She said they were, okay? Listen, definitely there. Now, Nespora.com, this used to be We Buy Black. I've used them. I've bought, like, if you want to start transitioning, you can just buy a starter kit. They have a starter kit to give you a variety of products, some cleaning products, some garbage bags, some
toothbrushes,
some toothpaste, all Black owned businesses, some Ziploc bags. They're not Ziploc because that's the brand name, but you know what I'm saying. Some plastic, they give you
plastic storage bags.
But they give you a little sampling. But they've changed the name to Nespora. So I think a spinoff of the Diaspora, but they have a greater range of products. Basically, they're like a marketplace, an online marketplace. All right.
And then We Are Plant Made. I use We Are Plant Made. Honestly, I was just, because if I see something on the social media, I might try it, right? So We Are Plant Made was a vegan hair care line that I wanted to try out, and I did, and I have, and I enjoy using it. Now the founder is Black. Obviously, I don't. It was created initially on the continent. I don't know if it is still a true Black owned business, but the founder was indeed Black, and so that's something else that I was going to just articulate, that not only are there Black owned businesses or Black established businesses in the United States, there are those across the world, right? And
Mhm.
so I heard somebody recently state, if we can buy from China, then we can buy from the continent. If you can go and buy your Shein and your Temu and all of that that's coming, and wait for it to come from China, then you can buy from the continent and get it as well. But a lot of them also have US distribution sites. So
Mhm.
that's how I learned about We Are Plant Made.
Yes. And let's see, who else do we have on
You
here?
had the Black Brown bookstore,
Yes,
which
so blackbrown.com bookstore. So that is a bookstore. It is an online bookstore for Black, Brown, and Indigenous authors. Okay. So don't tell me we can't support our Indigenous brothers and sisters, because we can't find them either, because you can if you are willing to search. And it's not even an inconvenience to order something online, because y'all done got so used to it. Now, what's
we're
the
so accustomed.
inconvenience is that you might not get it overnight, or you might not get it same day. But come on, can you practice some patience, please? Okay.
Well, not only practicing patience. Here's the thing. So again, $2.1 trillion. As a people, we obviously are spending a lot of money. And if you spend a lot of money, that means, maybe this gives us an opportunity to do a little bit better job of budgeting, like actually making lists like we used to, determine what we really need for our households, maybe for the month or maybe for the next 2 weeks or what have you, and buying them. Similar to how you said, when we go buy in bulk from the Costco's or other big box retailers, if you have a huge family, sure, you might need that big old pack of meat. But if you don't have a huge family, you probably need to buy it, season your meat, separate it out, and freeze it, right? So it's just the same concept. If you know you're gonna need garbage bags, storage bags, toothbrushes, all of these things, we just have to be more strategic about our spending and plan it out in advance, because we're telling you that there are companies that exist that supply all of those things. And then Brown Joy, finally, brownjoy.co. This is a friend of ours who started this company because her kids would go to the doctors and they would get stickers from the
Mhm.
doctor's office, but the characters didn't look like them. And
Mhm.
as a Black mama, what did she do? She got into action and created stickers that reflected her babies. And
Mhm.
so brownjoy.co has stickers for if you're a teacher,
Mhm.
if you're a physician, any places where there will be kids and you want them to be able to see themselves in characters, which we all should be able to see ourselves, right?
Mhm.
Brownjoy.co.
Yeah. So we gave you a plethora. Now, this is not an
It's
inclusive
not
list,
an exhaustive
obviously.
list, right?
It's not an exhaustive list. So please do your own research. If you have others that you have patronized, drop
Yeah.
them in the comments. You can also go to oh man, my head. There are a lot of things online on various sites where you can find um Black owned, women owned, veteran owned businesses who are producing products that you use every day. And here's the thing, with the way these tariffs gonna be set up,
Hmm.
y'all might want to start budgeting a little bit more, being a little more diligent right now, because again, that convenience, we all are going to be inconvenienced. If you haven't
Right.
seen the eggs, that's 10, 12, 15, $17 for a crate of eggs, and people are trying to do a run on eggs in the store, you might want to think about, I might need to change a few of these habits. Because again, these companies have already said that I don't value your dollar. So why don't we put our dollars where we are valued? That's what I say. What say you? Any comments out there? What say y'all? What y'all think about this?
Yeah, I'm gonna also drop Amazon's statement. Now, let me just be fair to Amazon if I have to. I again, I don't know all of the ins and outs of why certain moves are being made, but at least right now it appears that a large part of their diversity statement has not changed online, at least from what I see. So but okay, so it looks like Donna Marie has added mahoganybooks.com, another Black owned bookstore. Bikram Yoga Works, that's another thing. Like, we have the opportunity, our self-care and our wellness, especially at this time, is so very important. So if it's Bikram Yoga, let's get that. If it's Donna, I hope you're gonna drop your own business in there.
Come on.
If it's end of life planning, if it's coaching, Demetria, I think you need to drop your own business in
Come on,
there,
Vantage Point Coaching.
etc. I think there's an opportunity for us to take care of a lot of our needs, quite frankly, through Black owned businesses. She has twiliving.com. All right. rubylathan.com. All right. I'm gonna wait for you to drop yours in there, Donna, so we can showcase that one too. Of course, again, Demetria, vantagepointcoach.com. Would you like to drop yours down there so I can?
So let me go ahead. And don't forget our girl with the Sacred Soul Space, Alessandra Thompson.
Oh, and Alessandra, yes. Okay, so Lakeisha says, I checked on Friday to make sure my company still had our DEI programs on our website. They did. I will periodically, check though, because the bully is bullying. Absolutely. And we should all be checking. And listen, if you are employed with a company at this time, there are certain things that obviously we may not be able to control, but what we can control, what we can influence, what we can impact, we should try to do that. Because one thing, again, Costco has been standing 10 toes down. They have actual attorneys general who are coming after Costco to try to force them. So when Lakeisha said the bully is bullying, yes, trying to come after them for taking a stance in support of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And why on earth would anybody want to not be diverse, equitable, or inclusive?
Yeah, I don't. For the life of me, I don't understand it, because as I share with you in a private conversation, John Hope Bryant was on I guess the Breakfast Club a year or so ago, and just talking about that, like the most financially strong states are the most diverse. The most financially strong cities are the most diverse. And if you want to talk about the South, the most financially strong city, Atlanta, is the most diverse. And how you could put the economy of Mississippi, Alabama, inside of the economy of Atlanta. Okay, like that. So why would you not want that? Oh, I get why would you not want that. You not want that because you have been convinced that to do that is to take something away from you, not understanding that we all can win. It's not a zero-sum game.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that is a very, very eloquent way of putting it. I'm not going to be as eloquent. At the end of the day, what it feels like to me is I've sat here and I've said I've never seen such a desire to go back to 1864 as I've seen as of late. And the reason I say 1864 is because it really does feel like we want to go back pre-enslavement. And the reason I believe we want to go back pre-enslavement, because when we think about the structure of the United States, right, there wasn't a middle class for which we participated in. It was, you were either enslaved. I'm not saying there weren't poor whites, but there were a lot of wealthy whites as well.
Mhm.
And they made a lot of that wealth off of tariffs as well as free labor. We are looking at right now, we've had this conversation about deportation. But how many people are being deported versus how many people are being detained? We still have the 13th Amendment, which, while it gave us sort of, it quote unquote freed the enslaved, there was still that line that if you're a criminal,
Mm-hmm.
you could still be that's what created convict leasing. And so I just see that with all these private prisons that still exist. I just see that with the detention of brown people, that here's an opportunity for us to recreate that system of convict leasing. So I don't know. I've never seen such a desire to run back to a space and a place where white males, and dare I say white straight males, even though many of them are living undercover, but whatever, that's a whole nother story. But white straight males,
your girl Lindsay, girl.
right, right, white straight males want to be the only people with the capacity to create wealth and to have rights to vote, have civil rights, have the ability to hold down jobs. And it's like white women, they don't want you to have it either. They, based on what the policies that they're putting in place. So when someone says, "Oh, I know this accident happened because of DEI," all of us should be collectively enraged. Because the insinuation is the only people who are equipped mentally, physically, to do anything must be white males. And if you're not a white male, then you are somehow inferior. And if you got a job, just a job, if you have a job and you're amongst those who are enjoying a middle class lifestyle, that you must have taken that opportunity from a more equipped and a better equipped white male. That is the insinuation and the suggestion that whiteness is superior, white maleness is superior, and those of us who are doing anything in our lives, we couldn't have earned it. And that should infuriate all of us.
Absolutely. It is definitely infuriating. And again, we talked about bastardizing and weaponizing words. So the word that is being bastardized and weaponized now is merit. You have someone who used to be on Real World and Road Rules who is over the FAA. You have someone who was an abuser of women and alcoholic who's now no general, like did rise up in the ranks, who is now over the Department of Defense. You have a woman who, and I don't know where her confirmation hearing stands right now, but even that she was put forth, who legitimately, a former congresswoman who legitimately is a sympathizer of Russia, who is up for national security advisor. And we talking about merit?
Yeah, who ran as a Democrat, don't know if she's a Democrat or a Republican, keeps flip-flopping because obviously we just go where the money, we go where the money resides. Like that's the thing. All of these people are very much about Erica said, who is loyal to Donald. This is what's bothering me. I just keep saying, how did we forget that he was on the JV team when this all started? Like, this dude came out, he couldn't even get on the debate platform until he started speaking recklessly and became a bigot, and or showed he didn't become one, because
Yeah.
obviously he'd already
Yeah,
been
he
one.
showed who he
But
is. It
he
was, but
showed who he
again,
really was.
like I said, they bastardized the word merit. So here
Right.
we are, both master degreed women.
Mm-hmm.
You had a man who had a 40-some year military career, but they didn't have merit. The standards were lowered. So which standards were lowered? Some standards are being modified, and some of those military standards being modified because the fact is we are an unhealthy country who is overweight and people can't pass their damn PT. We're gonna tell the truth, shame the devil.
Well, also a lot of people don't. I mean,
And
listen,
people
our ancestors have fought in every one of these wars, has been a part of every one of
all
these,
of
and they did it, and they went other places and came back and had fewer rights in this country
come
after
on.
serving. I mean, got killed for having the audacity to wear their service uniforms out in public because white people told them to take, or a mob of white men said, if you wear that again, I am going to, you will die,
Yeah.
and was lynched. So we don't have the same desire for participation.
Mm-mm.
We
No.
don't have the same desire for participation, because why should I participate in this system when somebody who has no real credentials can rise to the highest ranks in the military? And I mean, the commander in
And to
chief
the commander in chief.
has never served in the military. So what is the value proposition at this point?
What is the value proposition? So, but anyway, we
But
present.
what we know about the value, what we know about our value, again, is as a people, this is February, it is Black
Yes,
History Month, and we're going to
yes,
keep celebrating our Blackness and Black excellence. We're going to celebrate alongside our Indigenous brothers and sisters, our Latino brothers and sisters. I know some folks are feeling away right now, but African diaspora, we are everywhere.
everywhere.
And
Like
so we're
Billie
going to,
Jean.
like,
Everywhere.
like Billy G. So we're going to support our excellence. We bring value to the table. And I just have to say two things, and I'm gonna turn it back to you, sister. Number one, like my friend said, posted today, why y'all ain't talking about getting rid of DEI in these college athletics? How about that? Why not do that? That's number one. And number two, if we was as bad as y'all say we are, if we didn't earn it as you try to suggest, then you wouldn't even be going through all this. You
Mm,
would not be putting forth this much effort to try to oppress and suppress us if you ain't already know. We fly, and we gonna stay fly, and y'all forever trying to emulate. So happy
mm.
Black History Month to you too.
Boom, power to the people. Hey, well, with that being said, we got to watch this. Let me see what's going to happen here on this Grammys. It's going to be the last thing on this country album of the year. Let's see what's going to happen on this Grammys real fast.
Well, is Beyonce nominated?
Yes, she is, baby. We about to see. Let's see what's
Okay.
going to happen. Who the Grammys going to
Oh,
go
like
to?
Lakeisha said, although this Joker act like he was giving a proclamation of Black History Month. Yeah, child,
Cowboy Carter, baby. Cowboy
Okay.
Carter won. Go Beyonce. Yes, on this Black History March. How about that? Now,
Well,
she looked like she was
congratulations.
surprised. She looked like she was surprised. Yeah, all y'all who didn't invite her to the CMAs. That's right, baby. She won the better award. How about that? With her platinum blonde hair. Uh-huh.
Yes,
Go ahead
indeed.
on, girl. Girl,
Okay,
child, that's all I
one
gotta say.
more.
That's it. That's all.
What's on jeromesmind.com? Meditativist who applies meditation insights to relationships, work, and social change, integrating mindfulness with action. All right, then. Well, we have a lot for you all to explore in terms of Black-owned businesses. We hope you'll take the time to do that.
All right, with that, we signing off. And next week, we coming for the Kendrick Lamar Bowl. Peace.
Good night.